Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kroy Biermann, a prisoner of Kim Zolciak for 13 years. Alum and former pro NFL player, Kroy Biermann claims that he was a prisoner of Kim Zolciak's for 13 years. He has been struggling with his estranged wife for over a year now, and it is not getting any easier. Now she has made some claims about him, but he has his own story to tell. Keep reading for more details. When Kroy Biermann and Kim Zolciak filed for divorce, it was a big shock as they seemed so in love. Not only did he adopt her 2 children from previous relationships, but they had 4 additional children together. From meeting on Unveiled, the couple landed their own spin-off, Don't Be Tardy, and lived a life of luxury. Sadly, they had several lawsuits, owed over $1 million to the IRS, and their home was facing foreclosure. Eventually, they ended their marriage and threw allegations at one another. They did try to reconcile, but that did not fix anything, so they proceeded with the dissolution of the marriage. Things took an aggressive turn, and the police were called repeatedly to the home. Croy called Kim out for having a gambling addiction and excessive spending. Now he is trying to force the sale of their home, as she wants it priced higher than he deems necessary. He just wants it sold so it won't go into foreclosure, thus affecting his credit. Kim has since come out and alleged she pays for everything and Croy wants her back, but he is doubling down on that story. He took to his Instagram stories to share how he feels and his truth. First, Kroy Biermann shared a handful of slides about narcissism to set the stage. Then he explained that he had been a prisoner of Kim Zolciak's for 13 years. More so, he called out the TMZ interview where she claimed, "He said if I ever divorced him, he would destroy me publicly." There were also allegations that their eldest child, Kroy Biermann, pays for more than Kroy does. He now appears to want to speak his truth as he has been silenced for way too long. After seeing Kim Zolciak's interview about her and Kroy Biermann, fans were not on her side in the slightest. They felt that she was the one responsible for the family's downfall due to her various addictions and needed to get a proper job. "Kim, you broke that man," then started playing in his face. "That's because he's the only one who actually takes care of all of their kids. He's a full-time dad." "Yeah, because she drained his bank account. This lady is a train wreck." "Well, I'm sure he has nothing left thanks to you. Girl, he definitely doesn't want you back. You dragged him down." They do not think that he wants her back as she claims and believe Kim drained Kroy dry. So it is clear whatever Kroy has to say, followers are listening. For over a decade, Kroy Biermann, a man once celebrated as a professional athlete, has lived a life in the shadow of his wife, Kim Zolciak, the reality television star who captivated audiences with her extravagant persona on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Their relationship, which began as a fairy tale romance, has become one of the most controversial and talked about unions in the reality television world. However, the once glamorous marriage between Kim and Kroy may be more of a prison for Kroy than the luxurious life many people imagine. From the outside, their relationship seemed ideal. Kroy was a successful NFL player, known for his solid performance on the field, while Kim was a reality TV star whose larger-than-life personality matched her penchant for over-the-top fashion and luxury. Their whirlwind romance was a public spectacle, and soon after meeting, they married and had 4 children together. But as their reality television journey continued, cracks in the relationship began to show, and Kroy's transformation from a respected football player to the long-suffering husband of a reality star became apparent. Kroy's story is one of gradual erosion. A man who went from being an NFL standout to a reality TV character who rarely gets to speak for himself. Kim Zolciak, a woman known for her high-maintenance lifestyle and flashy ways, seemingly dominated the relationship from the start. But as the years went on, it became increasingly clear that Kroy was slowly becoming entangled in Kim's world, one that was more about maintaining a public persona than fostering a genuine connection with her husband. At the heart of this power dynamic was Kim's love for drama and excess. From her larger-than-life wig collection to her lavish parties, Kim seemed to exist in a world far removed from the simple, quiet life that Croy might have hoped for when they first met. The constant spotlight, the pressures of keeping up with an image, and the need for constant attention began to chip away at Croy's own identity. He was no longer just Croy the football player. He was now Croy the husband of Kim Zolciak, a reality TV star who dominated every conversation. Despite their marriage being the focus of much media attention, Croy rarely received the same level of personal recognition. His career in the NFL was long over, but his life with Kim was always scrutinized by the public eye. And while Kim's eccentricities and over-the-top lifestyle were embraced by fans, Croy's role in their family's reality show often felt more like a supporting character than a lead. Throughout the years, the perception of Croy as a prisoner of Kim Zolciak only deepened. Kim's insistence on making every detail of their lives public, whether it was their children, their finances, or even their personal arguments, left little room for Croy to maintain any sense of privacy or personal agency. His world seemed confined by Kim's boundaries that were shaped by her need for fame, money, and constant validation. But perhaps the most tragic element of Croy's transformation was his gradual departure from the career he once loved. As Kim's fame grew, Croy's role in their relationship began to shift. His dreams of playing professional football slowly faded, replaced by a more passive role as a father and husband in Kim's orbit. While Croy was known for his athleticism and drive, those traits no longer seemed to have a place in the fast-paced, material-driven world that Kim seemed to live in. Over the years, Croy was often portrayed as the strong, silent type, quietly enduring whatever situation Kim had thrust upon him. From her infamous Don't Be Tardy spin-off show to their various public appearances, Croy remained the stoic husband, rarely voicing his own desires or opinions. His every action seemed to revolve around Kim and her wants. There was no room for him to thrive on his own terms. Even more troubling were the whispers of tension that seemed to constantly swirl around the relationship. As Kim's spending habits became more excessive and her public outbursts more frequent, Croy appeared trapped in a marriage that seemed far from fulfilling. Yet despite this, he stayed, seemingly locked in a cycle of appeasing Kim's every whim. It was as if Croy had been lured into a life where his identity had become lost, his own dreams sidelined for the sake of keeping Kim happy. But how much longer could Croy maintain this facade of a perfect life? The cracks in their marriage grew more noticeable as the years went by. In public, Croy would continue to appear as the loving husband, but behind closed doors, his frustrations began to bubble to the surface. Was he still the man he once was, or had he become a shadow of himself, defined solely by his relationship to Kim? Croy's eventual retreat from the public spotlight only heightened the perception that he was a prisoner of Kim's world. It was as though he had become isolated within their high society bubble, where the pressures of fame, wealth, and expectations loomed over him. His role as the husband to a reality TV star had become a gilded cage, a cage in which his freedom to explore his own passions and aspirations had been increasingly stifled. It was clear that Croy had slowly become a supporting player in the drama that Kim had created for herself. His role had shifted from the athletic hero to a man who was barely visible on the show that had originally propelled both him and Kim into the public eye. His identity was now largely defined by Kim, a fact that no one could ignore. Despite the years of tension and frustration that appeared to define their marriage, Croy had one thing going for him: his children. As a father, Croy was committed to providing his children with the best life possible, even if it meant sacrificing his own desires. His devotion to them may have been one of the few things that kept him tethered to the life he shared with Kim. But for many fans and observers, the biggest question remained: was Croy truly happy? Or had he been a prisoner of Kim Zolciak's world for the past 13 years? His life, once full of promise and potential, had become a balancing act between his own identity and the image Kim had created for them both. and whether or not he could break free from that prison, if indeed it was a prison at all, remained a mystery. Kim Kardashian, a name synonymous with fame, fortune, and relentless media scrutiny, has long been a lightning rod for both admiration and disdain. Her journey from a reality TV star to a global mogul has been nothing short of extraordinary. However, in recent months, the backlash against her has been louder than ever. Fans, once loyal and obsessed with her every move, have begun to vocalize their frustration, calling out the mogul for a series of perceived missteps. The question that now looms is, why have fans turned against Kim Kardashian? The iconic Kardashian brand has always relied on a careful balance between controversy and glamour. For over a decade, Kim was able to ride the wave of sensationalism, expertly navigating scandals while turning each setback into an opportunity to build her empire. But in a world that is constantly evolving, some fans have started to feel disillusioned by what they perceive as a shift in her priorities. The criticisms range from her superficial persona to her questionable business ventures. But the underlying theme of these critiques is a sense of disappointment. Fans want more than just the glitzy facade they come to expect. They want authenticity, they want purpose, and, above all, they want someone they can look up to. The shift in public perception. Kim Kardashian's transformation from the star of Keeping Up with the Kardashians to a billionaire entrepreneur was not an accident. She capitalized on the very same culture of excess that made her famous. But over time, her followers started noticing a disturbing trend. Kim's public persona seemed to diverge sharply from the person they had once idolized. Fans began to question whether her newfound wealth and success were worth the price of her authenticity. One of the first signs of this shift came with Kim's extravagant lifestyle, which to some felt increasingly out of touch with the struggles of the average person. For a while, it seemed like every post on her Instagram was a showcase of luxury vacations, designer outfits, and exorbitant parties. What was once an expression of empowerment became a portrayal of elitism. Many fans took to social media to slam Kim, accusing her of becoming a brand first and a person second. Some even labeled her a luxury influencer who had lost touch with the causes she once championed. But it wasn't just her public image that caused fans to turn against her. It was also her controversial business decisions. Kim's cosmetics line, KKW Beauty, was initially met with widespread success. However, fans began to notice the lack of innovation in her products. Complaints flooded in about poor quality, high prices, and lackluster packaging. Critics were quick to point out that Kim's cosmetic ventures were far from revolutionary, instead riding the coattails of her fame. For many, it became clear that her brand was capitalizing on her image rather than offering genuine value. The tipping point? The skin line. If there was any single moment that pushed fans over the edge, it was the launch of Kim's Skims shapewear line. Initially met with a wave of praise for its inclusivity and body positivity, the brand soon faced backlash. While Kim had positioned Skims as a product that embraced all body types, many fans felt that the brand was still ultimately focused on perfection. To some, the focus on beauty and body image felt hypocritical, especially in light of Kim's own heavily curated appearance. There was also the growing concern that the beauty standards promoted by Kim were damaging, and that the ideals she embodied didn't leave room for diversity. But it wasn't just her business empire that rubbed people the wrong way. Kim's public statements and actions began to raise eyebrows. In a 2020 interview, she claimed that her work with the criminal justice reform movement had left her exhausted. Fans were quick to slam her for appearing to make light of the serious, often painful work of justice reform. Critics accused her of using the issue as a personal branding opportunity, rather than a genuine cause. For many, her activism felt opportunistic, and her motivations were questioned. The family drama. As if the growing list of controversies weren't enough, Kim Kardashian's family drama also played a role in the erosion of her fan base. The Kardashians have always been synonymous with family conflict, But Kim's role as the family matriarch took on new dimensions in recent years. Her divorce from Kanye West, though ultimately amicable, was highly publicized and left fans with a sour taste in their mouths. Many were disturbed by the messy nature of the divorce and the way Kim and Kanye's personal lives were paraded in front of the cameras. Fans who had once admired Kim for her ability to juggle family, business, and public life began to wonder if she was simply using the chaos for ratings. The situation worsened as Kim began to date Pete Davidson, a relationship that seemed designed to garner media attention. Fans, already questioning her authenticity, began to speculate that her romantic choices were more about publicity than genuine connection. The relentless paparazzi coverage, the constant social media posts, and the barrage of headlines felt like an orchestrated campaign. In a world where genuine emotions are often drowned out by Instagram filters and paparazzi flashes, Kim's love life seemed just another PR stunt. The backlash. As Kim Kardashian's empire expanded, so did the number of voices criticizing her. Fans who had once hung on her every word now seemed weary of her manufactured persona. Social media became a battleground where loyal followers would turn on her in an instant, blasting her for her lack of relatability and perceived hypocrisy. The phrase, "Kim has changed," became a common refrain, accompanied by hashtags like hashtag Kim Kardashian is over and memes mocking her extravagant lifestyle. Perhaps one of the most telling signs of the backlash was the decline in engagement on Kim's social media accounts. While she once posted photos that garnered millions of likes and endless praise, those numbers started to dip. Fans began unfollowing her in droves, expressing disappointment not just in her actions, but in the fact that the Kim Kardashian they once admired was nowhere to be found. Many speculated that this was simply the price of fame in the age of social media, where nothing is ever truly private and every misstep is magnified. A future without Kim. Kim Kardashian has undoubtedly redefined what it means to be a celebrity in the 21st century. She has turned her image into a brand, successfully navigating both the highs and lows of fame. However, her fans' recent criticisms raise an important question. Is it possible for Kim to recover from this backlash? Only time will tell. Some believe that she can course correct by returning to her roots, emphasizing her personal journey over her manufactured persona. Others think she might embrace her role as a villain, continuing to play the part of the controversial mogul. But one thing is clear, Kim Kardashian's influence is no longer as untouchable as it once was. In a world where fans demand more than just celebrity, Kim's next moves will need to reflect a deeper sense of authenticity. Otherwise, the backlash will only intensify. In the end, Kim Kardashian's story is one of contradictions, fame and humility, empowerment and exploitation, glamour and reality. For fans who once adored her, that balance has tipped too far, and the resulting backlash has proven that even the most famous celebrities are not immune to public opinion. Fans are tired of the manufactured persona, and they're demanding more than just the carefully crafted image Kim has built. As Kim faces this turning point, only time will tell whether she can regain the trust of the fans who helped make her a global sensation, or if the backlash will continue to shape her legacy.